Also, AMD news, RDNA 2 and Zen 3 dates.
Hey, so we can speculate again. See, what is up with this? The one freaking show with all the tech news of this year, okay? Like the biggest tech news of the year, and I'm on a campsite with no internet even. I can't even call into the show. You know how bad I wanted to call into the show? Well, I couldn't call into the show and talk about the Ampere announcement.
Yeah, I was so hyped up to battle about that.
And you want to hear the worst part, Luke? You know how earlier on the pre-stream, I was like, it's okay, Luke, because we can just discuss those things this week, right? You know, we can just pretend it never happened last week. I lied, dude. I lied. I let you down because I've seen the numbers now, so I can't say anything.
Oh!
I can't break my NDA. So you can say whatever you want, and I'm going to have to sit here poker face and pretend I have no idea what you're talking about.
Can we agree about something? We can discuss this part because it's not about the numbers.
Sure. You mean the part where we roll the intro first?
Yeah,
let's do that. All right, just a second. Yeah. All right. You know what? Let's just start. Who cares? I'll just mute the intro. Whatever. You know, who cares anyway? All right, let's get this party started. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it sounds great. Sounds fantastic. Speeds and feeds sound real cool.
They do.
It was given to Digital Foundry, and they showed some really cool stuff with it. But so far, it's Digital Foundry and Nvidia's words. That's not a lot of players in the space.
Yep, that's literally
reserving judgment.
0. Well, one. Okay, Digital Foundry counts. Nvidia does not.
Count. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love Nvidia, but Luke, you've dealt with Nvidia a lot over the years. How would you characterize Nvidia's representations of their new graphics technology? On a scale of where one is like they basically hate themselves and everything they make, and 10 is
10.
Incredibly optimistic, very optimistic.
10, definitely.
Our graphics cards walk on water, and they come with a free leather jacket. And
could you live with yourself if you lived any more of your life without RTX? I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, I just, do you think people should reserve judgment for, at the very least, more reviewers getting their hands on it?
Okay, so again, I already have my hands on it, so I can't tip anything. Luke, I can't even tell you. You know how this is. You're not even in the organization anymore. I can't tell you. What I can tell you, though, is, this is so funny. Okay, I don't normally read super chats right away, but Robert Mail says, not sure why people are so hyped for AMD 6000 series graphics. I have an AMD 7000 series in my basement if anyone wants it. Hey, got him. Love it. Reusing product numbers. That's how you get in trouble.
We should get our 8800 GTXs out.
Okay,
those have got to be crazy.
So I'm gonna fall back on this. I'm gonna fall back on the same advice that I give to anyone ever, and that is that you should never pre-order. So you should always wait for independent evaluation of anything you're buying, whether it's a game or even a movie. Like, there's movies that I guess I know I'm going to go see without a review anyway, but that's just me being a dumb, blind fanboy, and I got to understand that. I got to just accept that. So if you're trying to not be a dumb, blind fanboy, then you should wait for independent analysis, especially because something like a graphics card is so, I'm not going to say easy because it does take expertise in order to evaluate it properly. But it's so objectively evaluatable, right? Like an album or a movie is so subjective. Whereas a graphics card, I mean, either it has lots of FPS and is cheap, or it like doesn't have many FPS and is expensive. Like there's no way to. I mean, okay. I mean, I guess back in the day when this is kind of funny. Actually, I forgot about this. Back when ATI, when they existed, and Nvidia used to play a lot more games with render quality in their drivers. there was some argument to be made around, one of them is actually rendering the game at a higher fidelity, even if the FPS is lower. But these days, I think it's been quite a while since anyone's been caught making those kinds of optimizations. Nowadays, if they're, upscaling the image, that's not a bug, that's a feature. To be clear,
upscaling is specific. Downscaling
yes.
would be...
I'm not knocking DLSS. I'm not knocking DLSS. I do consider that to be legitimately a feature.
It is actually pretty cool.
I'm just having a little fun. I'm just having a little bit of fun at NVIDIA's expense here. So that's what I'll say. I'll say you should always wait for independent review. What are you expecting? Because you legitimately don't know anything. So you can say,
no.
Sorry, that came across wrong. You legitimately
don't. Rude.
You don't have any inside knowledge on the RTX 3080.
I think I'm expecting a lot. I think I'm expecting a lot because, and this was where, like, a little bit more specifically what I wanted to talk to you about. But I think I'm expecting a lot because the last launch was pretty lackluster.
So you're on the every other GPU launch is bad kind of bandwagon here right now.
I don't know if that's necessarily been true.
Just the other one was really bad, so the pendulum must swing the other way.
2000 series was just kind of butt.
Well, Nvidia hears you. Nvidia hears you loud and clear. I mean, they made it very clear during the presentation that they were speaking directly to 1000 series owners. Please upgrade. Please.
Okay, and that's the other side of my thing is like the like, oh, my 1080 my 2080 Ti is garbage now. Okay, if you could afford a 2080 Ti, maybe you genuinely think that way, and the amount of money for the new card doesn't matter, and it's fine. But like a lot of people with 2000 series cards, even though I think that whole lineup was kind of butt, like you almost certainly don't need to upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I actually... It's so funny because I come from a time, like back when I was making enthusiast PC hardware purchases, this happened all the time. Yeah. Like, I look at that, like, it's... People have almost been sort of... they've fallen into this false sense of security where if they buy a computer, it's like still fast for 3 years. That's bad. That's not good. That's not what we want.
You didn't win.
Yeah, we want them to get faster so that when it's time to upgrade, you get a significant upgrade. You're not upgrading from a 2600K to a 7700K and like, hey, here's my 18 more FPS. Thank you, Intel. Like that's not what we're after, right? As enthusiasts. So I look at all the outrage over the 2000 series and I go, look, guys, you gotta have a perspective check here. And I get it. There's some people out there, Luke, like you said, where to them, a 2080 Ti is just pocket change anyway. Who cares? It's like, oh, this is garbage. I might as well give it to my little sister and get the new 3000 series. But there's also people out there that scrimped and saved and scraped together, potentially over the last 2 years. That's when the 2080 Ti launched 2 years ago to get real-time ray tracing, only to discover they bought a card that's not even fast enough to run it at a modern resolution in almost any games.
That launch was lame.
And that sucks. Like, that really sucks.
It does for sure, but sorry, keep going.
But your card's not garbage. Like, I'm running a 2080 Ti in my VR rig in my living room. I'm not going to swap it out. Not because I can't afford a 3000 series. I mean, probably not right now, just because these things are going to be so tight.
Really hard to buy.
Really hard to find. But sometime 3 months from now, realistically, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here, guys. It's not like I can't get hardware if I need it. If I call up a Gigabyte or Asus or MSI or Zotac or pretty much you name it, and I'm like, hey, sup? I need an RTX. They'll be like, oh, fine. So if I wanted to upgrade that system, it's not even a matter of the money. To me, it's just like, hold on a second. What game is actually demanding more than what an RTX 2080 Ti can do? Like, if I'm not actually trying to run real-time ray tracing at 4K, that is still a fantastic powerful graphics card. It is still going to be more powerful probably than the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. Like, it's not going to necessarily, oh wait, hold on a second. Yeah, RTX 2080 Ti is even getting direct storage. So you will be able to leverage that direct access for the GPU to high-speed NVMe storage on an RTX 2080 Ti. It's not a bad graphics card.
No, it was kind of a bum release, and like the whole kind of point of it didn't really pan out directly and all that kind of stuff, but it's still very powerful, especially for almost everything that almost everyone will use it for.
Exactly. Everyone's like, oh, Flight Sim 2020. Okay, get real. How many of you actually play Flight Sim 2020 as like you get home at the end of the day and that's like the game you play?
And most of the like really intense flight simmers that I know, and of course Twitch chat's gonna be like, oh, I do.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Most of the really intense flight simmers that I know of are not gonna balk at getting a new card. And they were like very likely gonna get the new card anyways, so it doesn't matter. And like something that Linus and I have been talking about on this show probably since, I'm assuming, one of the first 5 episodes has been the idea of when you're not necessarily even strapped for cash, when you're trying to be strategic about your computer component purchasing and upgrading, you flip that before the announcement.
Yep, because
not afterwards.
With that said, the one time that would have screwed you is if you flipped your 1000 series before the 2000 series announcement, because you basically would have been stuck just like buying a more expensive graphics card for a small increase in performance. Even then, you wouldn't have gotten screwed that bad. Like, you might have lost a couple $100, which is a lot less than you lost if you didn't flip your 2000 series just now a couple weeks ago. Oof. Yeah, pretty rough.
But like, there's a reason why we've always said that. It's because it works. And if you did that this time around, you would not have lost that like huge amount of money.
Bugatti Boy 912 here says, lol, Linus gatekeeping flight sims now. What are you even talking about? I'm just being realistic. Like here, hold on. Top.
I think that was saying it's unlikely that like how many people even play? Is there Steam stats on this?
Top Games Twitch here. Hold on just a minute here. So we got your Fall Guys. Okay, sort by viewers high to low. Here we go. You got your Among Us, you're just chatting, your League of Legends, your Grand Theft Auto 5 is still bigger than Flight Sim on Twitch. You got your Fortnite. I mean, how old is that game? Why is it classified as a driving and racing game?
Fortnite?
No, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh.
What are they doing? That is so stupid. Look at this. Driving racing game. You guys claim to know gaming. Even I know that's not right. Okay, so hold on. How far down this list do we have to go to find Flight Sim? And to be clear, I'm not knocking Flight Sim. I'm just saying that sim games are not mainstream. And this is kind of like the same stupid arguments that you saw way back in the day. Like, I'm talking back Pentium 4 versus Athlon 64, when people are like, but my video encoding. It's like, please, you are not a video encoding. Like, back then, like the YouTube space didn't exist yet. Like, people were not in their basements on their Pentium 4s creating videos. And yes, a small handful, but there's dozens of us. A small handful of them were, but for the vast majority of people who were trying to treat, well, this great advantage in video encoding as some kind of, killer app for buying a Pentium 4 versus an Athlon 64, it was a completely fallacious argument. Like, it just had nothing to do with anything, because the majority of us are just going to go home, fire up League of Legends or Fortnite or, Rocket League or whatever, and get no advantage whatsoever from that hyperthreading. And there's been 100 different examples of this over the years. I mean, Intel has been on the receiving end of this kind of sort of favoritism towards their competitor more recently. So Intel right now is at a significant disadvantage in one of the most popular benchmarks out there, Cinebench, compared to AMD, because AMD just ships way more freaking processing cores for the dollar than Intel does. And Intel's like, but nobody actually uses Cinema 4D. And it's like, yeah, I know, but it's really easy to run. And it gives us a pretty sort of relatable and still legitimately real world look at multi-core performance, which we can kind of extrapolate out to the future, assuming that software developers learn to use multi-core processors better over the next, 5 years that you might own that PC, or 10 years that you might own that PC. And we can say, okay, this is definitely something to consider when we look at the value proposition of these two products. I'm saying that in the case of Flight Sim is not going mainstream in the next 5 years or 10 years.
Flight Sim has had a steadily, not very fast, but steadily decreasing player count, even with how new it is. And its 24-hour peak is around 10,000.
So They
are all watching this stream, as far as I can tell.
So here, hold on. Let's go back to the list here. I can't even make this stuff up. Hold on. Where is... Control F sim. Okay, hold on. Control F sim. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a really cool game. We talked about it on the WAN show. It looks beautiful, and if you have one of those, like a crazy jack system that can play it, and maybe even a rig that you can sit in, and like manual controls and stuff, really, really cool setup. You can take Flight Sim super far. I also know people that run Flight Sims on lower settings, on lower setup rigs, and have tons of fun with it, and that's absolutely fantastic. It's just not really that big of a player base.
It's just not mainstream, that's all. Yeah. So here, hold on. I'm not done with this yet. I'm not done beating this dead horse. Okay, so we got Miscreated, which is simulation. We've got Escape from Tarkov, which is a simulation FPS.
Hey.
And again, a little less popular than Fortnite, just by a little bit here, because people don't generally want realism in their video games necessarily. We've got DayZ, okay, yep. We've got VR Chat. We don't actually have anything that I would consider to be a straight up sim style game yet. 7 Days to Die. What's next? World of Warships. Oh, come on. I mean, it's pretty simmy combat, I guess. Streamer Life Simulator. Streamer Life Simulator is literally more popular than Flight Sim 2020. Although, okay, that's a bit of like, what's that kind of bias called? It's not confirmation bias, but like sampling bias. Like we're sampling people who are viewing on Twitch TV. So,
and that could also have like one particular, I don't know. I haven't clicked on the category, but a lot of times on Twitch, if you find like a smaller section that's oddly inflated for a moment, it could be one bigger streamer just happened to play that game or do that thing for that amount of time.
All right, let's move on.
Really inflates that category.
Let's move on though. Next up is The Sims 4. A game from, do you mind fact checking this for me, Luke? What year is Sims 4 from, please? Hold on, I'm just going to work my way through the rest of the list here. We've got Space Engineers, whatever that is. Eco, whatever that is. Animal Crossing, New Horizons. Wow, that's really fallen off a cliff, hey? Does nobody care about Animal Crossing anymore?
I don't hear many people talk about it.
Wow, all right. And it's more popular than Flight Sim 2020. We've got Euro Truck Simulator 2. Also ahead of Flight Sim 2020. And finally, with 1.6 thousand viewers, Flight Simulator 2020. Wait, holy crap, that's not even 2020. Shut up. Is this the old one? No, it might just be Microsoft Flight Simulator. This looks too good. No, this has to actually be the
new one. It's called just Microsoft. That's the I can barely see it in the corner. That's the cover art.
That's the box. Okay. Okay. I'm just making sure. Oof.
So Sims 4 was released in 2014.
In 2014. All right.
I won't dive into it too far, but Sims, the Sims fan base must be some of the most like abused fans of like any game.
They're actually cool games. There, I said it.
No, but
I would never play them because they're for girls. But no, I'm trying to be offensive. I'm literally trying to offend everyone right now. That is not my actual opinion. They're cool games.
I played, I think, Sims 1 a bunch and actually had a lot of fun with it. But like the time between releases is huge.
Yeah.
The massive price that you have to pay for the extremely large
Expansions.
amount of DLCs and
All
expansions
the DLCs.
is wild. Like just I don't know, like especially financially. I mean, it's from EA, so who's surprised? But especially financially, like ouch, it would kind of suck to be a Sims gamer.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Definitely